Hello again, everyone. I'm Charles Gross.
And I'm Leslie Hoban Blake. Welcome to Two on the Aisle. What a pleasure to be able to say that. I haven't said it for 2 months. Hi, Charlie. How goes
Hello,
it?
Leslie. Welcome back. Before we get to our review today, I would just like to remind you to please subscribe to our channel. We are trying to get 1,000 subscribers. And for you 20th century fans, that's 3 zeros preceded by a 1 would really make us so happy. And we're a little short, as you may notice if you're watching this. So please subscribe. It's all it is a click, doesn't cost you anything, and you'll get some very good theater reviews. For example, we're going to talk about Between Riverside and Crazy, the Pulitzer Prize winning play by Stephen Adly Guirgis that just concluded its Broadway run. And it takes place where every New Yorker would like to be, a huge rent-controlled apartment on the Upper West Side of Manhattan.
That
So one
sounds
man
familiar.
yeah,
I think I saw a show about that, but it was a solo show.
yeah, there were. I think there was something to that effect.
Yeah, yeah.
But this is a
Some nice guy from the Upper West Side did it.
yeah.
Yeah.
No one I can recall.
Charlie something. Charlie. I
He
don't
used to
know.
hang out with a guy named Jeff, I think, something like that.
Yeah, that's the one. Right, right.
But this play, they have the apartment, and this centers around Pops, a former police officer who was shot by a fellow police officer, although not when he was in the line of duty. And he lives in this apartment with his son, who is paroled, but still leaving stolen goods in the apartment, his son's friend, who is a drug addict, his son's girlfriend, I'm not quite sure what her story is, and there is a dog, although we never actually get to see the dog.
Nor do we have a cast name for the dog. I'd love to give the cast names really quickly of the people you just mentioned. First of all, Pops is played by the venerable Stephen McKinley Henderson. It's the first time he's ever had this kind of leading role.
And he certainly rises to occasion. He is the glue that holds the show together. He is the character that the show revolves around, whether it is dealing with his son and his son's friends, whether it is dealing with his former partner and her husband, who are trying to settle the shooting incident with him. They've been trying to do it for 8 years. The detective is played by Elizabeth Canavan, who has a long time association with the playwright.
Yeah, Stephen is very loyal to actors who worked with him for years for no pay. And Elizabeth was in his second play. I saw her in Jesus Hopped the A Train. And this is her Broadway debut. So, he takes people along with him.
And Michael Rispoli, who plays her husband, a police lieutenant, who, as I mentioned, is trying to resolve the issue. I think my favorite part of the play involves a lady played by Maria Cristina Olivares. She is a church lady, or I should say a substitute church lady, who comes to show Henderson's character the way to the gospel in what I shall say is a very innovative fashion.
Well, it's very up close and personal, Charlie, which I think is what you liked about it. It's a wonderful scene, and they play it beautifully. You know who we haven't mentioned? The son, the parolee, is played by Common. And I think that Common is looking for the last letter in his goat. He has a Grammy, he has an Emmy, he has an Oscar, and now he needs a Tony. Not sure whether he'll get a Tony, but if a play gets a Tony, which it might.
I don't think he will get it for this role, but Common, you're welcome to come back anytime and try again for your ego. So all in all, when Henderson is on stage, this is a very good evening. When he is off stage, which is rare, admittedly, not so much, and the play does take its time getting started, but if you're willing to see it through, I think you will find that Between Riverside and Crazy is not a bad place to be. And I will give this let's say 3.5 playbills.
Well, this is so interesting, Charlie, because You saw it when it opened. And I saw it originally in 2015 off Broadway, and I saw it before that as a Labyrinth play, what they call a barn series, because Stephen used to bring pieces of plays in to be seen, and then he'd ask the audience questions about it. Did you like this? Did you like that? How did you feel about it? So I have a long history with this play, and I was saddened not to be able to see it. But the second stage, which is a not-for-profit theater, came up with this wonderful, innovative idea last year, and they live streamed a few performances at the very end of the run, because these are limited runs. They are not the usual Broadway runs.
Which show was this?
Pardon?
Which show did they do this for?
Clyde's, with Lynn Nottingh's play Clyde's. I never saw that either. And what they've done is they individually worked on a contract with Equity and the various other unions that are involved to live stream 4 performances. They were the final 4. I paid $75 for a single ticket, but I could have had a room full of people for all they knew. I didn't, but I could have. And that $75 got me literally a front row side view, up people's nostrils, but close-ups like you can't believe, of the show, of the play. And knowing the play as well as I do, I realize how well they got the shots. And by the way, this play was, did we say this? I don't think we did. It's directed by the wonderful, ubiquitous Austin Pendleton, who must have taken time off from playing a frog in some Shakespearean company downtown to go up to Broadway and direct this. Just brilliant.
This is a good trend. Should have been done years ago. And I hope this will continue and that it will expand. But Leslie, you never told me your conclusion of the play. How many plays?
I was going to give you my conclusion, but I did want to say that the way this is set up, they're not supposed to tape it. It's supposed to be 4 live stream performances. Now, whether somebody did tape it or didn't tape it is another story. I know nothing about that. But this concept, the setup, is based on 4 live stream performances. I saw a beautiful performance. I mean, nobody was off. Everybody was on. Everybody was in. I know what you mean about Common. He did a quiet performance. It didn't matter because it's McKinley Henderson's show, and that's that. And with all of that said, I would give it 4.5.
And that is our show for today. And when you go to the theater, look for Leslie and me, us too.
On the aisle, please, I hope. I'm trying to go to the end of this month. I'm booking a bunch of things. I'm hoping I'll be able to actually get to them. Take care, everyone. Don't forget to subscribe, please.
Yes, please subscribe.
Low sodium my ass. High sodium. The highest possible sodium. 'Cause I'm already taking care of one impossible goddamn childhood with my father. I like you.